Welcome, beloved. Take a breath with me. Inhale deeply in through your nose, filling your lungs up as completely as you can. And then exhale gently through your mouth. Drop into your body, into your heart. You are now entering a sacred space, a place where petals fall like prayers, and the fragrance of remembrance fills the air. Today, we are entering into communion with the rose. Not just a flower, but a living, breathing essence, a holy teacher, a portal, a reflection of the divine feminine in her fullest bloom. I'm Paula Collins, Magdalene Sound Priestess and Spirituality Mentor. And I welcome you to this incredible journey today with the rose. The rose is something that I feel very passionate about. I have been journeying with her for quite some time, and she has illuminated so many beautiful things along my path. Her essence, when I see her, makes me smile. Her fragrance takes me into deep meditation, and her energy calms and stills my body like nothing else ever. The rose can be seen as a sacred ally. For centuries, the rose has been whispered to mystics, priestess, poets, and lovers. She is beauty and boundary. She is softness and strength. She is the unfolding and the descent. Her medicine is subtle, but it is soul shifting. She doesn't shout, she sings. She doesn't demand, she invites. If you think about the beauty of the rose when you are out in nature, she opens her petals and she waits. She doesn't chase the rain, she doesn't chase the sun, and she doesn't chase the pollinators. She sits there in her beauty, in her majesty, and waits with divine patience for them to come in. And when we answer the invitation to journey with her, we begin to soften. We begin to listen again, not just with our ears, but with our hearts. Listening with our heart is such a beautiful practice. But like anything, we have to take time to slow down, to come into stillness, so we can hear the beautiful whispers within our hearts. So, what does it mean to be in communion with the rose? Well, it's to live with reverence. It's to remember that she is the highest frequency. And when we see her, it is this beautiful invitation to reflect upon her color, her fragrance, and her essence. And when we do that, we live with reverence. It means to slow down enough to feel your own heartbeat, not just when your hands are over your heart center and your eyes are closed, but in the everyday to day things that we do. To turn inward so that we can feel it. And this takes stillness, and this takes reverence for our own hearts. It means to allow ourselves to be moved with beauty, even when the world tells us to harden. And that means that we always have to be aware of the beauty in our surroundings. Whether we are sitting in our comfy chair, curled up in a blanket with a wonderful cup of tea, or we are out in nature and we take a moment to stop and to just take it in with all of our senses and to realize what a beautiful miracle it is. Being in communion with the rose means to anoint your wounds with compassion. We all have some type of wounding, don't we? But the rose offers us a solution. The rose says, I will look at these wounds with compassion. I will love these wounds for the things that they have taught me and the ways in which they have allowed me to grow. To be in communion with the rose means to walk through your day as if every moment is holy, is sacred, is divine. And I've spoken about this on another podcast. Holy means coming into wholeness. Sacred means setting time apart for this purpose. And divine means our connection with the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine. So if we walk through our day as if every moment is holy, sacred, and divine, it changes our mindset on how we look at things and how we show up for ourselves. To be in communion with the rose means to allow our body to be a temple, not a battleground. And how often do we not listen to our body? How often do we tune out the yearnings of our body or the messages from our body? How many times do we treat our body with ill disrespect and ill words? That is treating ourselves as a battleground, not the beautiful temple that we are. And our body is a temple. Our body is this beautiful space of remembrance, of recollection, and of reclamation. And when we treat our body as a temple, we treat it with beautiful reverence that it deserves. The rose teaches us how to be grounded and ethereal all at the same time. For many of us who are empaths, who are in this energetic work, we love to live in the ethers, don't we? It is such an incredible space to be because we are continually connected with spirit, with the divine, with our higher self, with our guides and our angels. But we also need to be grounded in the present moment. And the rose invites us to do both, to remember how deep our roots run, to remember the safety and the stability of that grounding, of that root system, of that connection with all living things. And so being in communion with the rose allows us to be both and. The rose tells us how to bloom with courage. She shows us how to do that. If you think about a rose bush, and when a tiny bud is forming, that bud doesn't know if it's going to be met with cold, harsh conditions or sunshine, gentle rains, and a place to grow big. It just does it, and it trusts. And courage requires trust, which was another one of my podcasts that I just did lately. And finally, the rose teaches us how to protect our sacred space, not with walls, but with wisdom. Can you feel the difference in that? When we protect our sacred space with walls, we shut everything else out so that we can't touch it and it cannot touch us. And those walls prevent us from experiencing the beauty of life, the beauty of love, the beauty of compassion, the beauty of grace, the beauty of mercy, and the beauty of forgiveness. But when we protect our sacred space with wisdom, we learn what to allow in and what to keep at a distance. And our lives become richer and fuller and more vibrant when we protect our space from a place of wisdom. And that wisdom comes from everything that we have encountered, whether it's good, bad, ugly, or beautiful. Whether it is something that has crushed us down or allowed us to rise up. We learn from that wisdom. That is our inner crone that speaks to us. And it is a thing of beauty. It is a thing that helps us to live differently. Can you feel that? Can you feel the difference in that? Can you feel how it lands in your body? Because just as I am speaking about it, when I spoke about the walls, I started to crumple in. I started to feel myself wanting to collapse. And when I spoke about wisdom, I felt myself opening up wide. I felt myself wanting to show my heart to the world. So, the Rose lineage is something that is very near and dear to my heart. And I want to take a few moments to talk about that because the Rose lineage includes goddesses and ascended masters that I love and have a relationship with, not just a devotion, but a relationship. Because the path of the rose is the path of the divine feminine. And the divine feminine is something that is rising up. It's showing itself to the world. It's saying, I am here. I'm here to claim all the parts of me. So the first goddess, of course, is Mary Magdalene. She is my beloved best friend. I chant her name in the mornings. She has been my beloved teacher. She's been my beloved priestess. And she has helped me to be an initiate of the Rose mysteries. And that has created a beautiful softness in me. She reminds me that love is not a weakness. It's my highest power. And that, my beautiful friends, is so important. Your love is not a weakness. It is your superpower. Because your love is strong, it's vibrant, it's alive. And if you allow it, it fills you from head to foot. It's a beautiful thing. And Magdalene has helped me to see that. in so many ways in my own personal life. Then there's Mary of Nazareth, the Holy Mother. And she has a beautiful softness about her, because when you are in devotion and in friendship with Mary of Nazareth, you feel her frequency of divine grace and infinite compassion, and it changes everything in your life. When you can look at the ones you love with compassion and grace, it changes how you see them and how you see the world and how you show up and how you respond, because you come from a place of grace and compassion. You come from a place of deep love. Mary of Nazareth has been a beautiful presence in my life that is like this beautiful soft balm for my most tender places. When I'm sitting in stillness, when I am with my family, when I am thinking about what it means to be a mom, when I am thinking about what it means to be a friend, when I think about what it means to not judge people, but to give them a moment and to realize that they are coming from a place and a space where they may have not been through healing, where they have not even realized that it is possible to heal. And so she allows me to be tender. And then there is Isis. Oh, Isis is this incredible goddess of magic, of resurrection, of wisdom. She tells us that it is okay to remember who we are, to allow that to rise up in us, and that no part of us is too much, is too loud, is too out there, is too fragmented. She reminds us of the cycles of death and rebirth in our life, whether it is another awakening or an ascension moment that we are in, or we have just decided to spend a few moments in the shadows and see what rises up so that we can meet it and work through it and gain the wisdom that we need to move forward so that we can transform. And that is who Isis has been for me. She has taught me these things with a presence that is big, but not overpowering. And I love that about her. Then there is Sophia, the goddess Sophia. And she is the voice of the divine wisdom. And she is the sacred knowing that lives within each and every one of us. Those moments when things arise in you and you have no idea how you know it, but you know it's true. That is Sophia. That is the power of the rose within. And when you are in communion with the rose, you are more tapped into your divine knowing and your sacred divine wisdom. Because see, she is the original flame of truth. She is what started everything. And she allows us to feel out and discern what is truth and what is a lie. And that, my friends, is a beautiful thing. And this flame of truth rises within us from our womb space, from our bones, and from our sacred DNA that transcends time and space. And when you are in communion with the rose and in communion with Magdalene, Mary of Nazareth, Isis, and Sophia, this lineage lives within you. And it carries the codes of the rose in your cells, in your heart, and in your voice. And it allows you to be in that love, in that softness, in our power and our magic and in our truth. And isn't that a beautiful way to live? Isn't that a beautiful way to greet each day? To wake up with that excitement within you? Even on the days when I am not feeling so great because I didn't sleep, or I have a headache, or I'm just feeling a bit off, I wake up with the codes of the rose within me and with that deep remembering and that deep reclamation. So at the end of this month of July, starting on the 27th, I am opening up a sacred devotional space. And it is a 7-day dieta for those who want to walk in deeper in this path of remembrance. This isn't just a practice, it's a soft revolution. It's a way to rewire your nervous system with love and to turn the sacred within your body instead of looking outward. And it's a way to feel held by the grace of the feminine guides of Magdalene, Mary of Nazareth, Isis, and Sophia. So each day you will be guided through ritual, stillness, remembrance. You will be guided through oracle cards. And each day becomes a petal of that rose, a prayer and a portal. And the beauty of this dieta is that the rose will meet you wherever you are. You don't already have to have a practice. You don't already have to be in a space where you have had several awakenings or initiations. The rose meets you wherever you are, whether you're at the beginning of your journey. And that is such a beautiful place to be met by the rose because of her softness and her love and her wisdom and her remembrance. To meet you there and to hold you and allow you to embody her. So whether you're at the beginning, the middle, or towards the end of your journey, the rose will meet you there, and she will take you to places you didn't even realize you needed to go. And so I wanted to close this episode by guiding you through a short rose invocation, because I want you to start to feel her, to remember her, and to remember you. If you are in a safe space, I invite you to close your eyes, to take a deep breath into your heart space, and to open yourself up to an awakening and a remembering of the rose that lives deep within you. So take another deep breath in and allow these words to become an activation. Beloved rose, whisper of the sacred, keeper of beauty and truth. I open my heart to you now. Let your fragrance awaken what I have forgotten. Let your petals remind me that softness is strength. Let your thorns teach me holy boundaries. And let the essence of every cell of you enter my being. Mary Magdalene, Mary of Nazareth, Goddess Isis, Divine Sophia, walk with me. Guide me back to devotion. Show me how to bloom. Not for the world, but for my own becoming. I am the temple. I am the flame. I am the rose unfolding. And so it is said, and so it is done. Breathe deeply into that activation, into that invocation, into that prayer, and see how it is landing inside the beautiful temple that is you. I want to thank you for joining me in this sacred space today. If this episode stirred something in you, I invite you to follow that whisper. I invite you to join me in the 7-day Rose Dieta that begins Saturday, July 27th. Let's walk this spiral path of remembrance together. And if this touched your heart, please share it. Share it with somebody who needs this message today. We all know someone. Subscribe so you don't miss any of my episodes, and leave a review. Leave questions, leave comments. I want to know where you are. And let the fragrance of the rose ripple far and wide. So until next time, may your heart be a garden, and may the rose guide you home.